Hello everyone, my name is the Chemist77 and welcome to episode 18 of Farming Minecraft. Now I have to start off this episode with a little bit of an apology. Basically this week I'm going to be really busy IRL and I'm going to be away basically when I would normally edit my videos. So this video is basically sort of recording it and planning it at the same time. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so today I am going to be building a wither rose farm out in the end, just so I can get wither roses so I can build a wither skeleton farm next week. Hopefully everything will have settled down a bit then. Now we need to build this in the end, at the end portal, but when I was originally planning on what design I was wanting to use for this, that's the wrong nether portal, I ran into a little bit of a hiccup, and I will show you in a second what said hiccup was. Okay, so I am here in a creative world with a Wither Skeleton Farm design. Now this is the world download from Raiseworks design, so if you want to build this yourself, I will leave a link to his video which has the world download in the description. However, it does not work in 1.19.3, which is the version that I run. And the reason why it works is a bit odd. Now, just make sure I've run all of these commands that you'll see in the command box here. So fall damage, tile drops, entity drops, mob loot, all of that is all set to true. And basically I've been sat up here, we've been in hard difficulty mode, so Endermen have been spawning and have been falling down. So how this works is pretty similar to an Enderman farm. You have an Endermite to lure Enderman, which will fall down here, and there is a Wither, which will kill the Enderman. Obviously, now I come down here, the Enderman will teleport around here, which is why the AFK point is up high. However, if you look in the chest here, nothing happens. And that is because for some reason, in 1.19.3, there is a bug where Endermen don't take explosion damage. That's how this farm kills them. Hopefully that gets fixed in later versions. I do believe there have been bug reports of it. But yeah, so this was what I was going to build, and then I discovered the explosion bug, which means it doesn't work. So the version I will be building instead is a design by ianxofour, which is a really cool, simple design that uses snowmen. And I'll leave a link to his video. He explains the farm really well, goes through a tutorial of it, so I'm not going to do any of that here. So if you want to sort of know block by block, I'll show a little bit how it works at the end, of course. But yeah, if you want a real proper explanation on it and a tutorial on how to build it, then go check out his video. Link will be in the description. Also check out his channel because he does loads of great farms, as does Raiseworks actually. He does a really good nether tree farm that I really like, that I'll be building later on. But for now, I'm going to get back into the overworld and I'm going to build up this farm. Okay, and the farm is built. Last thing that I want to do is just tidy up my shulker boxes here. I don't want to run the risk of those getting destroyed. They shouldn't do, because the wither's going to be trapped underneath the bedrock portal. But yeah. One last thing actually I do need to do is just clear out my inventory, except for a couple of little things. Okay, so before I place this last wither skeleton skull and it all gets very loud, I'm just going to briefly explain how this works. So if you don't know, when a wither boss kills a mob, it will drop a wither rose. Now wither roses are very special because they will harm all mobs if it touches it, except wither skeletons and withers. They will also stop other mobs from spawning. accept wither skeletons if you place them on a block, which is why we want them for a wither skeleton farm. I'll explain a bit more about that next episode. And so what we're going to be doing here is using snow golems we're just going to make snow golems that will then die. That's why I have 2 stacks of snow and a stack of carved pumpkins in here. So we're going to place 2 snow blocks here. This dispenser is then going to place a pumpkin or carved pumpkin on top here, which will create the snow golem. And then this is just going to be a little clock, which will shear the pumpkins. So there is, I've left my shovel here, hang on. So there is a dispenser here with shears in, and that will immediately shear the pumpkin off the snow golem, because if you didn't know, I've just trapped myself down here. If you didn't know, you can actually shear the pumpkin off of a snow golem, and you get that pumpkin back. So basically, we're just going to make 64 snow golems, shear them so we get the pumpkins back, and then as the snow golem lands, it will create snow layers, which then get blown up by the wither, which gives the snow back to make more snow golems. So I'm going to go place this last skull and then start the farm. Obviously, ianxofour explains this a lot better than me, so do go watch this video. Yeah. We will see how this goes. I sure hope this works. So I believe all I need to do is align myself against this trapdoor. I've got a helmet on, so I shouldn't get pumpkins on my head. There it goes. And I'm going to turn those block sounds down because it's so loud. That's a bit better. And I need to set the clock off. There we go. And we can see in our inventory in the bottom left there, we're picking up carved pumpkins, and we are placing the snow. And you can see there, they are getting sheared off, and you have this really weird face underneath. And there we go, there goes the last golem. We can turn that off. Place the pumpkins back in there. I'm just going to turn the blocks off. And then we can come down here. We're not tall enough to get killed by the wither. And then all we need to do is shift click these snow blocks. So we have 2 stacks again. Like so. We don't need these. And yeah, you can see the last couple snow golems got killed. So if I chuck out all these snowballs because I don't need them. There you go. Another one just died there as it came down. All we need to do is come up here. Remember to turn the clock on again. And do the same thing. So I'm going to do this until I have enough wither roses for the wither skeleton farm, which is, if we have a look, 31.5 stacks. I'm going to be here in a while, and then I think I've just got about got enough time to do one other little thing that I would like to do. And that is build a collection system, or an automatic one, because currently running down is just a bit boring. I'd much rather have something automatic, so I'm going to set up some hopper minecarts underneath here, and yeah, I will see you after I've done that, but for now, I need 31 stacks of wither roses. Yeah, it's a good fast farm, but 31.5 stacks, that will take a while. I discovered something fun. My fast right click does work, and works pretty well. Okay, and we are just about done. I got nearly a couple barrels, of wither roses. That should be enough for what I need for the time being. The other good thing that wither roses are for, you will probably seen in my crafting inventory, is black dye. Will probably make us a good farm in the future. So if I come down here, I can now kill this wither. And if I ever want to use the farm again, I can just spawn another one. Using skulls from the wither skeleton farm. And there we go. One nether star. Hello, this is post-recording chemist here. One thing I did forget to mention about the wither rose farm here, that I said I would do and I've decided not to do. The collection system underneath, I'll be honest, I was using this farm, didn't really feel like I needed it. It's quite easy if you're here and you're crouched holding right click against there, you just drop down, run around. I'm now going to pick up loads of snowballs, and then I mean literally just crouch under, run back up. I could even put stairs in here if I wanted to. Run around here, craft the snow blocks, and just go again. There isn't really any need for a collection system. Also, if like me, you build this before you've got all the end portals, or end gateways rather, you will need to like take some of this down at least if you choose to fight the dragon again, because the dragon will just break the blocks. Just something to be in mind of. But yeah, just a little thing that it's not that little thing. I said I was going to add a collection system and I decided I didn't. It's been a chaotic week. But yeah, interjection over, back to the video. Okay, so everything's all been tidied up. I've cleared out the barrels. I've got the 2 stacks of snow there ready for when we use it again, along with the carved pumpkins. And yeah, I have just cleared everything up. So I can pick my ender chest up again. And yeah, now before we go, there is just a couple things that I want to show you. So first of all, if you remember a few episodes ago, we took this end gateway and we had a little play around with it to get it to generate in the void. Now, if I come over to the end here, it is possible you can see a little bit about what I'm doing. And if you saw one of my recent community posts, then you will know what I'm on about. But if we go through here, we can see I have laid out quite a bit of glass. How much glass? Yeah, 53,247 glass to be precise. Which yeah, took a while to get. So I just did this off camera last weekend. I didn't think people would probably want to watch me stream placing this many glass blocks, so I took the day off for streaming, and yeah, oops. So what this circle does, this is a very specific circle, and if I stand on this glass block, then the chunks that these glass blocks are on will get random ticked. Now, random ticks is what the game uses to determine where the crops grow, where the copper oxidizes, where the dripstone grows, things like that. And so basically, if I'm stood at the center here, any farm within this radius here that's in this glass circle will basically work, pretty much. And so what I'm going to do is, whoops, yeah, do just that, build loads of farms here. And I've been doing a little bit of behind the scenes farm design stuff. So for example, if I pull out, I can find it, here we go, pointed dripstone farm. I spent a little bit of time in creative mode. I want to have a little bit of fun with this because quite often what you'll do with pointed dripstone is just build a flying machine based farm, but I wanted to do one that's lower risk of breaking. Here we go. One of the challenges I wanted to give myself when designing this farm is I wanted it to all fit inside a single chunk. And I have done just that. Everything from the actual farm to even the collection system, which involved some slightly interesting smart droppers and snow systems. Yeah, everything fits inside a single chunk. And yeah, so I'm pretty pleased with that. And I've done a pumpkin and melon farm as well, which is very exciting, and a wheat farm. So yeah, so we're gonna be slowly throughout the next few months populating this with all sorts of different farms and contraptions. We'll have a concrete factory, we'll have a mud farm. I want to get a clay farm going, because if you didn't know, if you place mud on top of pointed dripstone, it will eventually turn into clay. So I might do some piston work, maybe some flying machine stuff with that. And the other one is a skulk farm, which I'll give you a little sneak peek at the schematic. Here it is. So this here is a skulk farm. Now what happens is it's not part of the schematic, but there will be an enderman farm on top of this, and they will die on this stone here, which the skulk catalysts will turn into skulk, and all I've got is a series of block pushers which will just send it all the way along into 5 enormous block storages. So yeah, so all fun things like that. Obviously these aren't going to be the final positions. This will be a lot lower so we can get the enderman farm as low as possible. And yeah, all sorts of things like that which we're going to build out here. Now obviously some farms are a bit locational, things like guardian farms. Obviously we can only build an ocean monument, but so I'll just get rid of those for now, and I'll figure out placement later. Maybe I'll do it on stream at some point. Which sort of brings me to the other last thing I want to do, and that is actually get to the where I'm going to build the wither skeleton farm. That's about a couple thousand blocks out in the nether, and I need to do just a little bit of double checking on a couple of coordinates. So once I found out exactly where I need to be, I shall meet you over there. Okie dokie, now here we are, and all I need to do now is break through the bedrock. And the other thing I want to do here, pick up a compass that I can add to our network. I can rename it Wither Skeleton Farm. I can spell. There we go. Huh. Oh. Well, it took a few attempts, but I was not expecting that. Right. Well, bonus. And, what did I say? I'm using ancient debris and a netherite block here because I forgot to bring obsidian and I wanted a blast-proof block, and these were the only ones I had. Oh yeah, that was really just a single piece of bedrock. Very nice. Well, I'll get down there and I'll show you why I wanted this particular block to get down. Yeah. Let me just tidy some stuff up first. Okay, well it took a little while to get the position right, but this is the wither skeleton farm. I'll be honest, it's a little hard to see at the minute, but as you can see just about over here, possibly, maybe not quite, but over here there is essentially a hole Well, there should be a hole. That goes down to the killing area, which is down there. Is there a better way of doing this? Oh, yes, there is. Of course, there's a better way of doing this. Okay, here is the said better way of doing this. So here I am in the world where I designed said wither skeleton farm. I'll be honest, I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. It's a chaotic week for me, but yeah. So as we can see, this design here, and this is why I wanted that particular block straight above. And you can see I've dug a hole just straight up through the top here, because this is essentially just going to be the hole that drops us down to here, and this is where the killing chamber is for the wither skeletons. And as you can see, we've got two little mechanisms here. Again, old mango hopper minecart unloader there, and just a simple storage system. And you can see from some AFK testing sessions here, it produces quite a lot of stuff. But yeah, so on stream next week. So normally I would stream Saturdays, however I won't be streaming today when this video comes out, because I am away for the weekend. So I won't be available then. However, I am hopefully planning on streaming on the Tuesday, or the Wednesday. Not entirely sure. Keep an eye out on Twitch/Instagram for that. So yeah, I'm hoping to start just clearing out all of these blocks here, just getting stuff out of the way, ready to build it in that week's episode, or at least start building it in that week's episode. It might be that we have to sort of start building it in one episode and then finish off by putting all the piglins and the wither roses in another episode. But yeah, let's head back to the main world then. And so yeah, here we can see there's quite a lot of terrain to be taken out. I'm concerned as to why there are things spawning. So I am going to fly straight up here and out, and I've left my gamma on. Whoops. I think spawning in from not generating the redstone that the chunk loader works for the mob switch has possibly made the mob switch not turn on. So we'll have to be aware of that when we are working on this. Anyway, that'll do it for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry that it's been chaotic and all over the place. It's basically been my entire week so far. So, yeah. Hopefully the next few episodes will have some semblance of structure to them. And so yeah. Thank you very much for watching. And if you do want to catch the live stream where we'll be starting work on that with a skeleton farm, then do, you know, follow me on Instagram, chemist77, twitch.tv, the chemist70. So everything's the same for all my socials. I'm very much an advocate for just one tag. But yeah, so check me out over on there. Check some of the other episodes out in the Farming Minecraft playlist as well. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.